Hello everybody, I am your Chief of Wrestling, Craig Anderson, and you're listening to Dirt Sheet Mania, episode 21. Hello everybody, welcome to episode 21, and before we talk about wrestling, it's coming home, football's coming home, Come on England, go on Freelands. We're going to win the World Cup.
Yeah, less of that.
Guys, we're not going to win the World Cup. We might, but
the pathway is open.
The door is off the latch, and the cookies are at the end of the garden path. But guarding those cookies are Sweden and Croatia and probably France.
They've got those cookies on their IKEA furniture.
They do, and they're very well stable.
Or Rikka Johnson is... and
Sven-Göran Eriksson.
And Sven's there.
Oh, he's always there, Sven.
He's always there, sniffing around Ulrika. Yeah, so anyway, I'm the director of creativity, Kieran Smith. I'm absolutely knackered, still buzzing from last night.
I must admit, it took me a little while to nod off last night. Once I finally switched off, I was out like a light.
Yeah, same as actually.
But it took a while.
Yeah,
it took a while. Guys, welcome to WrestleMania 21. It's big time. This is what the 21 tagline was.
No, big time was 22, mate. 21 goes Hollywood.
21 goes Hollywood. Yeah, so 21.
We're going Hollywood today. We're sitting here in tuxedos.
We are. Do you like my bow tie?
I'm standing on my Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Oh, your star. The star.
Yeah.
You're next to Vince McMahon and Arnold Schwarzenegger, aren't you?
I am, yeah. But touching both their biceps.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Basically, I'm hanging off them.
Oh, like I can see like they're either side of you.
Yeah.
It's like you've been...
Just a pure white baby face.
You didn't pull up?
Skins, very, very white.
You didn't pull ups?
No, because I probably couldn't do it. It's very, very hard for me to do any sort of exercise,
It's true.
I'm team fat.
Team fat. So, Dirt Sheet Mania episode 21, Raw and Smackdown this last week. It's difficult because we are, 15 days from Extreme Rules? It's Wednesday. Extreme Rules is a week Sunday.
It's not 15 days in the Craig. It's
7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Okay.
Well done.
Quick maths.
Yeah.
Not very good at that. Big shock. Quick math. No. 12 days till Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
Are you excited for Extreme Rules?
Okay, so I'm excited for pay-per-views. I get excited for pay-per-views because they're pay-per-views, right?
Okay.
Like the culmination, there's title changes, it's the big event. It's going to be another 4-hour extravaganza.
Vomit.
I can't get myself up to watch Monday Night Raw.
I
can do it with SmackDown. SmackDown just flows a lot easier for me because it's a shorter route.
I don't watch. Show. I used to watch them live, but I don't watch any of them live now.
No.
I just can't.
No.
By 11:30, I'm feeling sleepy.
Is it this time after WrestleMania where things sort of just waver a little bit? Because it always does it every year.
Money in the Bank was great though.
Yeah,
I was buzzing for Money in the Bank.
The pay-per-view was great. The 6-week build-up.
Raw was awful.
The first two shows after WrestleMania were good because obviously you got the post-Mania editions of the shows, and then you had the draft.
Backlash around that time.
And then Backlash was awful, and then
the cross-branded stuff were weird.
It's just. Yeah, right now it's a bit. I'd rather watch NXT.
Yeah, NXT, and I tell you what as well, Lucha Underground. That's back. I've been watching that. I might actually do a little special on Lucha Underground because. Really enjoying it, actually.
On your own then, mate.
Well, fine, but I'm sure there's people out there that do watch Lucha Underground.
Possibly, yeah.
They do murder storylines and all.
Sweet. Maybe WWE should start doing that.
Yeah, they've been there, done that. Didn't go so well.
Let's murder Roman Reigns.
He tried to kill Braun Strowman.
CSI Detective Baron Corbin.
That's what the fashion police are there for. Yeah, exactly. But you know what they should do, Kieran? Go to counselling.
They should go.
Let's just go to counselling. More on counselling later. A favourite of ours is back in the WWE. But let's start with Monday Night Raw. And the big dog's out again, Kieran. Overexposure of Mr. Reigns this evening. He's in tonight, spoiler alert, he's in 2 matches and about 3 backstage promos involving Kurt, Seth, Bobby, and a mixture of all and before. It's The fact that Roman wrestles twice tonight and is in an opening promo of the show, he's in a backstage promo of the show. Is this a prime reason people do not like him because he's just overly exposed and in two main storylines?
I think so, but I can't fault Roman as a wrestler. No, I can't. Like, if
I can't either.
Matches, I don't mind watching Roman Reigns matches. I hate the comeback spots in Roman Reigns matches where he comes back and does his Superman punch, or he gets
and then falls over.
Has a move done to him and suddenly he's about to knock down and he goes, oh, Superman punches to it again. I hate that. That's one of my biggest gripes in wrestling matches anyway.
No selling, basically.
Yeah, no selling the move and then doing a move and then both doing a double down. That just
don't like that.
It just annoys me. But I can't say that I'm disappointed not to see Roman in two matches because I think he puts on good matches. But overexposure, yes. And I just can't.
Because I think a lot of it is again, we can sit here with our fantasy booker hats and look at us, we're doing our little podcast, we're correct. It's just our opinion, doesn't mean bug all the effectively.
We could sit there and say, we had this with John Cena. John Cena would open up every Raw.
He would.
And then you'd have another promo and then you'd have a match at the end of the night or whatever. You have two matches. It just be... But
here's a prime example of doing it to an effect. People like Stephanie and Triple H, when they were heels and they were the Authority, they opened up nearly every single Raw for a good 18 months and they hated them. But they're heels. That's how you get people to hate you.
Yeah.
Every time a good guy like Daniel Bryan comes up against you, you put the heels constantly on the television show to the point where you're sick of them and you're like, I want these guys off my telly. Daniel Bryan, you have to beat them. You have to take down the Authority. That's how you do it. You keep doing that, but if they just keep rolling Roman out with no one credible to go against, like Bobby Lashley, what is Bobby Lashley? Is he a heel? Is he a face?
I don't mind seeing this Roman versus Bobby match,
and it will now. We know now it will take place at Extreme Rules.
It'll be one and done, surely. Possibly.
We don't know because
that's it. Well, obviously the strong rumours now that Brock's now.
Yeah, these rumours that Brock will not wrestle at SummerSlam are not going away, are they? It's not like we've heard a few people say or we've seen a few websites. Everyone is now under the illusion that Brock Lesnar will not wrestle until later on this year. And you know what? That's a Vince McMahon decision. Because if Vince McMahon wanted to do it, he would just say, "Look,
it's a decision to make Brock look really bad ultimately." And try and make Roman look good, and I just don't think Roman looks good after this. Like technically, he's getting a title. It doesn't mean anything because it hasn't been defended. That's how titles gain prestige and credibility. The wrestlers that have it, and how long they have it for, and if it's been defended enough times. Now, Brock Lesnar's had it for 400 plus days, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but how many times has he defended it?
7.
Yeah,
4,
maybe 4, 5.
On live television shows, about 4, but on house shows is when it gets to about 7.
Yeah,
I think.
Right. Okay, and
those matches aren't very long either.
Yeah,
they're very quick matches.
Yeah, and he's defended it against Roman Reigns enough times.
About 3 times out of that.
And it's just, I don't know. There was a period of time last year where he had a fatal 4-way match with the Universal title. He had Samoa Joe, Braun, and Roman in. Great fatal 4-way, right? And he had a SummerSlam match.
Doesn't have to lose. Yeah. He can just whatever.
But yeah, it's just right now. Just get him on the show. Just take the title off him. I know people like Brock Lesnar. I know people like to see Brock Lesnar.
I like to see Paul Heyman.
Yeah,
really, if I'm honest.
But just get him to come to SummerSlam, do a 5-minute match, drop the title, and that's it. Move it on. So I don't care for Brock Lesnar now.
No,
like if he wants to come back in a year's time, have a WrestleMania match, I'm fine with that. Obviously, it depends who he's against, but. Right now, I don't care for Brock Lesnar. If Brock Lesnar turns up on TV, I'm not going to go, oh shit, here comes Brock Lesnar, he's about to cause some shit.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we do now know is that with Roman Reigns starting the show, he ends up having a confrontation with Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, someone that his former Shield brother and Seth Rollins had an issue with the last few weeks. And they try and take the big dog down 2-on-1. Seth hits the ring, and we find ourselves in a tag team scenario. The Shield later on, they want that match and they want it tonight. Kurt wants it next week because we find out a tiny bit after this match, a tiny bit after they've demanded that the match is tonight, that Roman has actually already got a match tonight. So as we said before, Roman will also team with Bobby Lashley and he will be going against the Revival in a rematch. So it's the third time in this match.
This was announced. This was announced midway during last week, that they will have a rematch against the Revival. So why is Roman, like, if he's the most gifted person in WWE right now, he's the big dog, he's everything like that. Yeah, the match was it was announced during the week. They're saying that there will be a rematch.
So this is the third carnation of this match.
Yeah, no,
So-
it was announced that they will have a rematch from last week.
It's the rematch of the rematch.
Yeah.
Because it's 1-1 basically at this point.
I'm pretty sure it was. And if
Right, I
that's
didn't
the
know
case,
that.
if that's the case, why does Roman not know about that?
Well, I didn't know that, but again, I'm not supposed
Surely
to.
Roman, in kayfabe terms, is going to go, well, I've got the revival this week. I need to make sure I study.
And him and Bobby had a backstage segment with Seth, and he just said to Bobby, "You stand on the apron, you smile, and I'll do the work." So he's already clearly, unless he's underestimating the revival and going, "I can take down Seth, Dolph and Drew, and then I'll go on to the revival, take down these two guys." He even said he buried them in his opening promo, saying, "I can't believe I'm saying it, but I'm standing here saying I got beat by the revival." I tell you what, mate, later on you got your ass whooped twice by them as well. Twice the revival beat them up.
I don't know. Like saying it's too much Roman Reigns.
Well, this is what I mean. Him as a person, as a wrestler, nothing wrong with it. It's the overexposure.
I'm pretty sure I said a couple of weeks ago, maybe Roman Reigns just needs a bit of time off. Just let him rest up for a couple of months.
Come back as a heel.
No, not necessarily come back a heel. I think he can still come back as a face. I just think he needs to, like saying, the overexposure, I think, is doing not working for him.
Do you remember? I don't know if it was a work, but do you remember when Cena was announced to be out for like a year, and then after 3 months he came back at the Rumble?
Yeah.
They need to do something like that. They need to say, look, Roman's hurt. He's not going to be back. He's going to be back in like 18 months, a year.
I think the unfortunate thing, if they were to do that, though, is that Raw doesn't have a lot to really step up. Obviously, they have Seth and they have Dean Ambrose to come
Well,
back.
that could be a timing issue.
They've obviously got Braun. And we know, we've said our opinions on Braun Strowman for a long enough time now.
He's monster in the bank.
But I just think, just keep Roman off TV even for a month would just help him, I think.
So the long and short of it is that Roman and Seth, they won the tag match on Raw. Beg pardon, no, they didn't. This is the way it all comes around back to Roman again. So Seth was trying to tag Roman, and they couldn't. And then just as you think he's about to do it, the place is going mental. They want Roman in this match, which is just, it's crazy from where you've been before and you've come back again.
That's because Roman's with his Shield brother.
Yeah.
It's like,
when he's with Dean or when he's with Seth, he's loved. I mean, look at what I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing a Shield t-shirt.
I'm wearing a tux, Craig.
Well, yeah, sorry, I'm still wearing my tuxedo from earlier, from the gimmick, yeah. But yeah, they wanted that tag, and then the revival yanked Roman off the apron, and Seth and Roman win by disqualification. But then the revival beat the crap out of Roman Reigns. Later on in the night, he get tagged with Bobby against revival. The revival lose via disqualification because they beat up. Bobby was never tagged in this match legally. Was he? He got a bit fed up once or twice and jumped himself in. And he walked off. He was like, done with this. So, Roman's wrestled twice. Bobby's not done a thing. Who's the new guy? We know what Roman can do. We know Roman's moveset. We know, why is, I don't...
This is trying to make Roman look good, though, isn't it?
We know, but he already, like this, you don't need to keep making him look...
Yeah, of course you do. Got to make Roman look like 100% every week.
More than that at the moment, I think. So, again, Revival, for me, came out of both segments looking great. The four people that needed it more, Drew, Dolph, and the Revival, out of both segments, all four of them came out looking really, really good.
Just
really
quick
good.
Tidbit. It'd be good to see Roman versus Drew,
Oh.
not just in a throwaway match on Raw. I think it's a potential
Universal tournament title.
big time pay-per-view sort of match between the two with a big build-up.
If you look at 3MB Drew, which was the Drew before he unfortunately got released, and then you look at the Drew that is now back in WWE, it's so different.
Yeah.
Whether it's the attitude, whether it's the facial hair. I mean, he looks amazing now. Physically, he looks incredible. And, I part of me thinks that this is basically something Cody Rhodes will end up doing when Cody Rhodes comes back, which he will come back one day.
I don't know if you've seen those the leaked reports that WWE are actively trying to pursue Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, and Cody at the end of the year with very, very good contracts. Well,
for me, there's only one. If the Young Bucks and Kenny, Cody has made the independence his, really, from the excellent attitude. And as I said, I had pleasure to work with him once before, and he was just, considering who he is and where he's been from and where he's come from, he was the most humblest, nicest top star, if you like, that I've ever worked with, and it was extremely humbling. What for me, if the Young Bucks and Kenny are going to sign with WWE, there's only one way they'll sign. They'll have to be guaranteed money more than they can make at the moment. Because at the moment,
of course,
doing their own schedules, and they're in such demand, they can name their price, and people are paying it. They want to see it's now the golden elite.
Yeah.
Okay. Still the elite now, back with Kenny, and now Ibushi's with them as well. They've got such a strong.
So the only thing with the WWE contract though is that even if you're not wrestling, you're guaranteed money.
Right.
Obviously,
right
now, if one of them was to sustain an injury, they'll probably still get by on merchandise getting sold
lots,
because they do sell a lot. But
there's no
guarantee. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know what their guaranteed contract would be, but I mean, you could easily, I don't know, let's say Cena earn a guaranteed £1 million a year.
Example,
$1 million a year. He probably doesn't. I don't know, but it's just
probably more.
But it's a guaranteed $1 million a year. And he gets that regardless. He obviously gets more for bonuses and merch and everything like that. Kenny Omega or the Young Bucks, they'll probably get $500,000, you'd say, maybe $750,000 because of how big they are in the Indies. And you say, well, that's guaranteed coming in.
And they're bypass the Indies. They wouldn't. They wouldn't go to NXT.
Their merch in WWE will sell.
Oh,
like
it will be through the roof.
I mean, I know Pro Wrestling Tees and that it's a good website and you can get things from there and they sell well. But going through WWE Shop.
And Euroshop. So they don't have to pay the shipping fee if you're from America. Because on Pro Wrestling Tees, if you're from England, you have to pay the shipping.
Yeah.
Obviously, because if you have a Euro store, which because it's based in England, I think the Euro store, there's no shipping fee. It's just your standard £2 first class. So they would honestly, it would be a great move.
Well, if you do it through Amazon, you can get t-shirts from Amazon and do it for Amazon Prime and get free Prime delivery.
I've got Prime.
Boom.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, we're completely digressing as we do in Mania. But yes, point is, and then maybe you can have the Bucks versus the Revival, FTR, the Revival. Remember that?
Yeah,
that would be good.
And maybe you can have the Bucks
versus the Usos,
the New Day. What are you all about?
Well, they had it. Oh my God, yeah, Kenny and the
WWE are actively. They're gonna sign them at the end of it. This is the whole thing. I don't know if you saw. Kenny went to Japan the other day. And Carl Anderson put up a few
abs.
A few ab photos.
He's looking great.
And they put up screenshots of our AJ Styles, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, and Shinsuke Nakamura coming to WWE. Remember that time when all four of them were? And they come in.
It's another 4.
Almost feels like it's this way. Like I'm not saying. Like, I think I'm not a bit. They obviously got All In. That's a big thing for them. That's going to be a success.
That is, and they've already. That's going to be streamed through Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
I'm going to have that.
Yeah.
I think we should review it as well. Really, it's October. It's a long way away. But
September, isn't it?
September
1st.
Because that's the date Brian's contract runs out.
That's the way I remember it.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, big deal. We will see. We'll keep our eyes on the prize with that one. So let's digress back into Raw.
Yeah, let's go on to Raw.
I might chop that out maybe and
we'll do whatever.
Just have a little go with that.
Come on, England.
So we go back. Matt Hardy. He is in a bit of a loose end at the moment because Matt Hardy has his tag team partner Bray Wyatt. Now, unfortunately, Bray Wyatt was in a car crash. Now, obviously, straight away thinking, I hope it's not too bad. Apparently, it's a head-on collision. All we know is it's a car crash. The internet can make up and pretend and over-exaggerate. So
I'm going to digress again, right? Road accidents in America always sound worse than they actually are.
He's in an automobile head-on. Yeah, okay.
Like, whereas here, it would be just like the airbag went off because you bumped into a bumper.
Yeah. Or I clipped a wheel of a... hit a parked car.
If we'd done it over here, we'd get a phone call next day and say, have you had car accident in the last 3 years?
I had whiplash.
And then obviously you spend a year trying to get money that you
never see. Legal fees. So yeah, okay. So straight away, we don't know how bad it is. What I want to do here, Kieran, is I've got a list of people that if Bray Wyatt cannot compete at Extreme Rules, I want you to give me your 2 cents of what WWE might do. Now, straight away off the bat, I said to you, could Raw, in kayfabe, do a deal with SmackDown and get Jeff Hardy over, regardless of Jeff Hardy having a match at Extreme Rules, and he has a match with Nakamura. So one, could they do that?
Yes and no. No, because Jeff's 40, I don't think he'd do double duty. But yes, because could they introduce a Brother Nero character, reintroduce it to the
absolutely
to the universe? Potentially.
There's about 6 other people on this list that aren't really doing anything of note at the moment that could replace Bray Wyatt, such as could Titus Worldwide hire Matt Hardy for a tiny bit, and could either Titus or Apollo take that spot. Bobby Roode, he's not doing anything right now. Chad Gable, not doing anything right now. Elias, amazingly, he's not doing anything right now. Chad Gable, Elias, Goldust, No Way Jose, Mojo Rawley, and Zack Ryder.
I think Bray will be fine.
We hope so, but I just want to shoot the breeze and see if there's anybody that you think.
Fine. Goldust. I like the idea because he's a bit wacky.
He's the only one for me that
fits.
Yeah,
but is he good enough? Well, of course, he's good enough.
I hear what you're saying.
Is he a big enough star to be in this tag?
To replace that thing? Well, unfortunately, the Raw Tag Division isn't big enough right now. The title division. You've got the Revival beating Roman Reigns up. You've got the Ray Carbon Cesaro.
Maybe you can bring back MVP.
Oh man, love that.
Yeah.
Or Shannon Moore.
Yeah,
here's another one.
The Hurricane.
Hurricane. The Cameron boys. Yeah, he's in Love Independence. So for me, I personally, depending on how long Bray, if they're saying Bray's going to be out for 4 months, say he's broken something, which we don't know about yet. If that's the case, then for me it's Bobby Roode, and you go Bobby replaces Bray, Bobby turns on Matt, and Bobby then becomes a heel, which we want. I desperately want Bobby to be a heel, and then him and Matt have a feud for a couple of months. Maybe Bray comes back, maybe they go back for the belts again, I don't know. I think he'd be okay, so let's hope Bray's fine, and then the B team can wrestle them at Extreme Rules. But it's just interesting to see also how many people on Raw are actually not doing like anything. I mean, I know No Way Jose and Mojo in this very, very low down, I don't like your entourage sort of storyline. But yeah, exactly. They're not really doing much at all. Bayley and Sasha Banks. They are in counselling.
There's one thing about Sasha Banks that really grinds my gears.
Oh, hello, Peter Griffin.
She's got a Boston accent, obviously.
Boston.
She's from Boston.
Boston, Massachusetts. Yeah.
But she can't say certain words right.
Oh, go on.
I can't remember what
I didn't even pick this up.
She doesn't. It's like it's that. She's like she can't pronounce her T's or something. Like
do that. No,
it's that.
What you guys can't see is Kieran D'Lo Browning shaking his head, trying
to be a black woman.
You're trying to be a black. You're trying to do the hand thing again. I like that. Oh, that's weird. Feel like Beyonce. The single ladies. The single ladies.
Yeah, I'm currently twerking right now. Luckily.
Vomit.
Mrs. might like that.
She might try it. See, report back to me.
I'll let you know.
Let me know. So, what do you reckon?
Yeah. So they're in counselling.
They're in counselling
at the same time.
Well,
same room.
we thought okay, but they're arguing about who's one. What a little tidbit I found here. Did you see the patient left in the who behind? He was wearing red, so it's Raw. It's like if we have to spoon feed you anymore, we will. Dr. Shelby's back.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
Big pops
from the crowd at
night.
Well, yeah, it's either that or Braun doing what he did to Kevin later. But I, for me, it was just the is he going to be back? Is he going to be back? Dr. Shelby, guys, is a real doctor. The last time he did this with Bryan and Kane, the only reason he disappeared off TV is because he didn't have any more days off to take. Apparently, if we're led to believe such things. But he's back. It's not group counselling like he did with Kane and Bryan. He's just doing private 2-on-1 counselling with Sasha and Bayley. Now, there was 2 segments from Raw. One, they got to beat each other. And the other one, he was going through the friends and love and trust.
7 foundations of friendship.
That's the one. 7. And did you like the picture on the wall?
I did, yeah.
Of Kane and Bryan.
I would have liked to see them have signed it saying like to Dr. Shelby. Thanks. Brian, Kane or something like that,
like hashtag yes, hashtag no or something. Yeah. That'd have been nice.
Yeah.
That'd have been nice.
But,
or like cutouts of Bryan and Kane in the room or something. That'd have been cool.
It was good. It was good. It was good to see him in that.
He's so natural as well.
Yeah.
He got quite angry at one point, didn't he?
Yeah. I don't know how this goes well for Bayley and Sasha personally.
I'm glad you brought that up because I honestly want your open opinion of. Okay, they're having counselling. So normally, when Bryan and Kane had counselling, They figured it out. They got together and they won the tag team titles.
Because it was to try and get them on the same page for a potential tag team title shot.
Bayley and Sasha, there are no women. We've said this before. We want them, but there are no women's tag division.
Yeah.
So what possibly could Sasha and Bayley do to achieve an end goal? And where is the end game?
This needed to take place after Bayley and Sasha had a 3 to 4 month feud.
Not a 6 month year, which is what it's been.
No. So their feud starts now, and then they have matches, and they go 2-2 against each other.
But do you think?
And then Kurt goes, "That's it. I've had enough. I'm sending both of you to council." That makes more sense to me because you're trying to repair a friendship. Right now, they're still friends. They've just
I disagree. I think they're not friends anymore. But I think what they've done is that over the last sort of 3 months, they've beat each other up. Both have beat each other up a little bit. Then they've tagged. Then they've beaten up. Then they've tagged. Then they've beaten up. But they've kind of tagged. Then they've 6-man tagged. Then they've saved each other. Then you've got Extreme Rules. The Elimination Chamber where Sasha screwed Bayley. Then you've got the Women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania where Bayley screwed Sasha. It was backwards and forwards and back. So it's almost like I'm better than you. I'm better than you.
Right. So
that's a feud.
So Bayley's attacked Sasha last week.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Surely Sasha wants to get her.
Yeah, like
back. So I'm not being funny. If I'm Sasha right now, I don't care where I am. I want to beat the hell out of Bayley, and I'll do it in the doctor's office if I have to.
What do they do at Extreme Rules?
Nothing.
Live counselling session with Dr. Shelby?
That'll go over well, wouldn't it?
I would actually like. Do you not think you'd like that?
I don't know. I think the fans knowing it's Dr. Shelby will give it a chance, but I think in ring session.
Do you reckon Dr. Shelby knows how to wrestle?
If Dr. Shelby...
Because he looks jacked, I tell you what.
Dr. Shelby should announce Team Hell No coming out as Extreme Rules.
That's like
my friends.
The counselling session should be on right before the SmackDown tag title match.
Yeah. Or after.
Or his backstage segment.
They win the tag titles and say, look, this is what I can do for you two.
After the backstage, there should be a backstage segment with Shelby and Brian, with Bayley and Sasha. He goes, sorry girls, I've got 2 other clients that need to see me just before a very important meet time. And then they walk and go, he's been horrible to me again. Hey, sorry Brian, I'm just saying I wanted to park over there, but I wanted the green valet car. I wanted the blue valet car. That's so stupid. This is so random. Anyway, Dr. Shelby needs to be on Extreme Rules.
Yeah. Look, I'm just saying that I think the timing of the cancelling thing doesn't make sense. We said it last week. It doesn't make sense. Why are these two going to cancelling when there's numerous other people that probably should have gone there before them?
People that tried to murder each other live on television. Yeah.
Good one. Like I think this cancelling thing would have been better 4 months down the line after they've had a feud, because then you could just repair the friendship that way of getting the team.
Kevin Owens headbutted and beat the shit out of Vince McMahon. Didn't go to counselling, did he? No. Very good. So yeah, continuity.
He kept his job for 8 months.
Oh, dear. Authors of Pain. We do, like we just mentioned, Ray Cum and Cesaro, the Authors of Pain, the Turkish guys.
What are the names?
The Authors of Pain.
You just said Rakem and Azaro.
Yeah.
Right? No, it's Akem.
Okay.
And Rezar.
Okay.
Right, you just got mixed up, and one of them sounded like Cesaro's off-beat cousin or something like that.
His rather taller Turkish cousin. Okay, it's difficult to get the tongue around.
No, it's not. Akem and Rezar.
Well done, you did it then. You can be the official announcer for the Authors of Pain. But they're on Raw, and they actually won a tag match against what we mentioned before, the Titus Worldwide, who are, again, just treading water, not really doing anything. How quickly from this point on, bear in mind we're 2 weeks away from Extreme Rules, I don't expect them to be added to that match anytime soon, but in between Extreme Rules and SummerSlam, how quickly do they get those titles?
I think there will be a Fatal 4-way / Fatal 5-way / 6-pack challenge / tag team invitational turmoil challenge at SummerSlam for the Raw titles, because there's no big fuse on Raw from the tag teams that makes sense. I just think it's got to be a multi-team.
Because for me, the two teams...
If they have the title match at SummerSlam, then
it's going to be like a 20-hour show, isn't it?
It's a 5-hour show, isn't it?
With an hour pre-show.
Yeah.
6 hours.
There's probably time to put it on. But
for me, I can see this going... I mean, for me, the Revival are being pushed pretty heavy right now, and as are Ray Cum and Cesaro. They're winning. They've actually finally beat a proper tag team. The Authors of Pain have finally... I'm just going to call them the Authors of Pain. The Authors of Pain have finally won a tag team match against credible opponents. So for me, I think they're going to end up facing...
Yeah, potentially. But I just think for me, in terms of SummerSlam being a big event, multi-man match, these sort of make sense to me.
I think a 4-corner team would be quite nice.
Yeah.
You can have the B team, Bray and Matt, the Authors of Pain and Revival. Have an elimination.
Yeah. Well,
Four corner elimination.
Surely the Revival have to be in some sort of.
They have to be.
They have to be in it.
They have to be. You don't beat Roman
The
Reigns.
Revival versus the Authors of Pain again.
See, I'd like that, but I just think that I know the Revival are great technicians and tacticians, so they could, in theory. Do you know what I'd love? Do you know what I would? This has just come into my head, so tell me if I'm being nuts. If that is the case, and the Revival win, and they reveal their manager to be Paul Ellering.
Yeah, old school.
That'd be pretty cool, and then that really turns Authors of Pain babyface.
So what happens is that
I'm here. You see that?
The Revival they face the Deleter of Worlds, and they face Akam and Razar, which are the Authors of Pain. Craig.
Are they?
Yeah.
Just remind.
Then Chad Gable goes. I need a tag team.
Yeah.
So he brings in American Alpha. So you've basically got the triple threat from NXT days.
Which was
plus the Deleter of Worlds because they're the tag champs
in
a fatal four-way match at SummerSlam.
Oh, that's nice.
We have just made the Raw tag team division more interesting.
We've made it way more credible.
1 minute.
And I also do like the idea of the last two teams being the Authors of Pain and the Revival with Paul Ellering becoming the Revival's manager.
Yeah.
What a Healy dastardly, and that really puts the Authors of Pain over as babyfaces chasing the snidey little heels who have taken their manager and made their manager into what they should have been, you know. So I'd like that. But anyway, that is our Raw tag division. And like you said, you've just done that in 30 seconds to a minute?
Yeah.
It's already 100 times better.
I could do a lot of things in a minute.
Congratulations. Constable Corbin, careful. Careful. Constable Corbin. He makes his way into the squared circle, invites Mr. Finn Balor to the ring, and demands an apology, Kieran. He wants an apology because Finn was an ungrateful tag team partner last week. Oh, boo, boo, boo. Poor Constable Corbin. He needs a cuddle, and he needs some cream for that head of his. I think that's what he needs.
I actually quite like him about his head.
It suits him, although Finn Balor did take the crap out.
I want to stroke his head.
He took the piss out of his cut, didn't he?
Yeah.
Which I was like, it actually suits him better, Finn, you know. He wanted an apology, but then he apologised to Finn first, and then...
Maybe he's been to counselling with Dr. Shelby. Maybe he's trying to have a friendship with Finn.
I mean, Corbin... This is so weird.
Maybe Baron wants to go back to Ireland and have some Guinness with young Finn Balor.
Young Fergal.
And then he wants to meet old Fergal.
With his dad? Yeah. I don't understand this, because as the heel, you don't apologise. You are... Especially because he has an authority position. I don't understand why he would apologise, and I don't know if he was doing it passively aggressively or he was doing it sarcastically, then I'd get it. But the way Corbin said it, it made me feel like it was genuine.
Maybe he's trying to impress Stephanie in kayfabe terms, as a leader, and he knows when he's wrong. You have to, as a leader, you have to know when you're wrong.
But Stephanie has never meant it. She's apologised.
Stephani's like,
but she's never meant it.
Whatever leader there is, they'll never be bigger than the McMahons in WWE. Like, not being funny. Like
whether you're Kurt, whether you're Bischoff, Heyman,
in
SmackDown,
and he was the biggest. He was bigger than Vince McMahon at one point.
Yeah,
you know,
he kicked his ass for about a good year and a half.
83 weeks. He's got a podcast called 83 Weeks. So I thought so.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. But apparently it's quite good. Not as good as us.
Not as good as us.
We're better than WCW.
Yeah, of course we are. Yeah. We're still here.
I'm better than David Arquette. So maybe he's just doing that. He's maybe showing a bit of humility as a leader. Very possibly. I just didn't get the passive aggressive and being sarcastic. But it doesn't make sense. This just screams at me. Let's just get these two on a show without them having a match. Yeah, no, I agree. And there wasn't even that much to do with them once they had their thing, and they were gone again. So not much to be about that. Two more segments I'll run past you. First one, I want to talk to you about the closing segment. Or it was a segment that ran throughout the entire show. Was Kevin Owens. He was basically scared of Braun throughout the entire show, and rightly so. It looks a little bit like Tom and Jerry, but the other way around. Like, you got, instead of the mice being the underdog baby face against the big ugly heel, which is Tom in this case. Braun is the baby face, which is the bigger one, and Kevin Owens is the smaller one. Is Jerry. I had to just try and work out which one was Tom, which one was Jerry at that point. Tom cat. yeah. Tom is the cat, and Jerry is the mouse. So I sort of remember that one. Which one's Itchy? Which one's Scratchy? Itchy is... Scratchy's the cat, and Itchy's the little one. Sure? Yeah, 100%. Because he's a cat. Which one's Poochie? Poochie went back to his planet. Yeah. A bit like Harry Kane went back to his planet last night after he rid on that Colombian's defender's back. Where to, Harry?
He's like a Harry Potter. I'm enjoying the storyline, but again, I'm wondering where it's going. For me, Kevin Owens, he was, he wouldn't give his keys to the valet. He didn't want to go in a tag match. He didn't really want to be there. Kurt put him in the main event against Braun Strowman again. The match lasted all of about 2 minutes, and before Kevin ran away, and there was a count-out victory for Braun Strowman. Braun found him in the Portaloo outside, where he was told not to park his car, and he would have got his keys back from the valet, but he decided not to give his keys to the valet. So, interestingly, all of Kevin's decisions earlier in the evening come back to bite him in a 10-second spoof here. Eventually, Braun, in a really long process, Braun drags the Portaloo from the backstage, through the backstage area, out into the arena, up the side of the ramp.
To a conveniently placed ramp.
Well, it's just beautiful. There's someone's placed them gently for him. Dragged it all the way over to the other side of the stage. And then a very small little drop to the other side.
It was obviously there to get Kevin out of the Portaloo and then sort of, because the whole, like, them Braun walking back to the ramp and sticking his arms up was obviously a what do they call it, a distraction to take away from the Portaloo so Kevin can get out of the Portaloo and then not be in the Portaloo when Braun pushes him over.
And then they just...
I mean, Kevin will probably say, yeah, I'll just do it. But
I don't know. He's a family man now. I don't know.
In terms of safety.
Also, there's no way he was in it because despite Braun Strowman being an incredibly strong human being, he moved that Portaloo way too easy considering there'd been a, 280-pound man in the back of that, so... let's not be too silly about this. We know he wasn't in it the entire time. Yeah. But hell, it was hilarious and it was quite funny. So I quite enjoyed it. The last piece of... in fact, there was one more piece. Didn't you think... You told me off air. Didn't you think Kevin Owens needed a tag team partner?
Well, yeah. So
again...
So Kevin Owens was obviously going around looking for a tag team partner or looking for someone to help him.
He asked Jinder.
Yeah. So, as he always does, he seems to just do it every week. It's like Kevin Owens... weekly trying to find a person to help him sort of thing. So he's obviously, you can't use Sammy because he's injured, you can't use Chris Jericho because he's not doing his Fozzy and his Ring of Honor and his Sea of Honor and his Japan and his everything else other podcast thing. He's probably going to take over the world next. He's probably in North Korea right now. So we're just trying to find, let's find a tag team partner. And why not Elias?
He's not doing anything, Elias.
Elias is not doing anything. And could you imagine Elias in the ring strumming his guitar? That sounds odd. Playing his guitar. There you go. And Kevin Owens is singing in French. Which
really winds people up.
And then you've got a new funny tag team sort of thing.
So are you telling me Elias is doing the guitar, playing the guitar, doing the backing harmony to Kevin Owens singing in French?
Yeah.
There you go, tag champs for a year. Yeah. Thank you very much. What do you call them? French and Saunders? French and guitar?
French and Saunders.
I don't know. It's just funny, I think. No? Very good.
No.
Should we move on?
Elias Owens.
Sounds like the name of Kevin Owens' next child.
The Elias Owens World Tour.
The Elias Owens World Tour.
It's called the World Tour.
It's called
the World Tour.
There we go. There we are. Thank you very much. The World Tour.
The World Tour.
That's fantastic. Only last thing I want to talk about from Raw is the current Women's Championship storyline, which has many different players in, whether they're supporting or whether they're main cast. I really like the Raw Women's title storyline at the moment. It just seems very well thought out and it's all falling into place again. The match itself on Raw, was Nia Jax versus Mickie James. I beg your pardon, no it wasn't. It was Nia versus Mickie James. It was because Natty was with Nia and Alexa was with James, because it's not many pieces.
Nia and Natalia being the epitome of am I a face, am I a heel, every other week.
I mean, Natty, I know she's friends with Ronda, and I'm still waiting for her to turn on her if and when Ronda wins that title, I'm still waiting for Natty to kind of get a little bit, do you want to give me a title shot because I'm your friend? And then she's not really a friend, and then she tries to take the belt off her. We do know that Ronda will be at Extreme Rules in a sit-down interview with Renee Young, and she's going to buy a ticket. So she'll be at ringside in a match that we now know will be an Extreme Rules match, so no disqualification. So Ronda Rousey at ringside watching a women's title match in a no disqualification environment where she can actually get involved. I wonder where that's going to go. Difficult decision who's going to win and lose that match, actually. It kind of becomes
I think Alexa has to keep it, right? So I mean,
You'd think so.
In terms of Ronda, I don't know.
So would you completely pull the plug on okay. Thing is though, as much as Nia and Ronda were having a match, so you still really don't know who's best in that scenario. Does Ronda still want it? I guess she wants Alexa more because she cost her that women's title.
That's what I mean. I think Nia goes on to win the match, or looks like she's about to win the match, and Ronda comes in and takes Nia out. And that might almost...
That's contradictory. Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. Maybe all of these... Maybe if you add Natty... Maybe... I don't know if Mickie James gets a shot, but maybe you end up with a fatal four-way.
Yeah, I did have a feeling that when Natty walked in, and obviously Mickie was there, that fatal four-way maybe, potentially. Or even just a triple threat, getting Natalya in there. Yeah, I think... There's the Ronda Nia match, and it was a great little match, actually. When you
Very good match.
That never had a finish.
I'd love it. I want to see a finish now. They left me wanting more, which is a very good way.
I don't know how they do it, but I think they save Ronda versus Nia for sometime down the line.
Why not? It's in there now. The fans will react to it, and they had very good chemistry. And Ronda again, they're using her so cleverly. Like, I want to see Ronda wrestle more because in the 2 matches I've seen on television, I'm extremely impressed.
Ronda's not had a televised match on Raw.
It's been pay-per-view WrestleMania, yeah.
Brock hasn't had a televised match on Raw since 2002.
Yeah, but no, if Ronda was the champion...
I'm not saying this is the way you book Brock, but could they not book Brock like this?
But
just
Ronda had show... Okay, Ronda has a storyline reason not to be on Raw. Yeah. Okay, Brock doesn't. Brock's just not coming. Yeah. I guess Brock's reasoning is, I'm paid enough, I don't have to be there.
Well, that's the storyline.
That's the storyline. But I guess that's how you position the face in a heel. But Ronda was on every Raw pretty much. Like, she's there constantly. And it's fun to see these new matches that she's putting on, and it's extremely exciting. One other side note, which wasn't actually on Raw itself, but was on WWE.com and on the WWE YouTube page. So if you want to check this video out, go and have a look. Was Shayna Baszler, which is she's currently the NXT Women's Champion, was backstage on Raw, and she was asked, "Why are you here?" And she sort of gave a few fleeting answers. Well, like, one, I'm Shayna Baszler. I'm the NXT Women's Champion. I can do whatever I want whenever I want to do it. Second one is, maybe I'm getting a little bit bored of beating up the same people in NXT. Maybe I want to come beat up some other people. Maybe I'm coming to Raw to keep an eye out for a friend that can't be here for 30 days. I wonder what that means. So
okay, so let's go through. Number one, is she getting called up? No, I think it's too soon.
No.
And I don't think she's dominated NXT as much as she says she has. I don't think she has. I think there's a lot of talent down there that she could do and beat.
Her matches are quite short in NXT as well.
And she beat Toni Storm by count out at the UK Championship.
She did
as well, which is obviously something.
Very good match.
So there's another credible opponent to add to the already list. There is. Two, could this be a potential seed in the 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsemen?
Well,
match?
what I can, it's weird. So the way you've just said that makes me think I've just found an end game for Bayley and Sasha. The end game is Survivor Series.
They have to be on the same page.
They have to be because because I don't know how they work it out, because Sasha and Becky on one show and these two on another show, but
it's all branded pay-per-views.
Maybe going towards that show, maybe the lines are maybe they end up popping over to each other, and Charlotte is like, you two have to be on the same page, because I imagine Charlotte might be in that leader position, and so look, if you two can't get along, we are never going to win this, and then we're going to look stupid.
Charlotte's not doing anything.
No,
Becky's winning matches on SmackDown.
She is constantly every week now.
Doing anything?
No, not really. No,
and obviously Sasha and Bayley,
they're doing quite a lot, but yeah. For me, that's the end game now.
Survivor Series is a good point, because I sat there when I thought the idea, I was like, SummerSlam's too soon for that. But Survivor Series, they've the other two MMA horsewomen, I can't remember their names, but they
Mrs. Roddy Strong.
Yeah, and they're both in the Performance Center. So
they're learning.
So, but in a 4-on-4 tag match, they don't have to.
Ronda and Shayna could do most of the work.
Exactly, and Shayna will do most of the work still, I think. Anyway.
I think that might actually be, because you can't have both of them win a title in a redemption story, and there are no tag divisions for them. I know we're going back to this story again, but you see our point is, like, we don't really know how they can redeem themselves and become this big grand finish. So for them to have to keep and work as a team, but then maybe one of them's like, nah. And at the end, Sasha.
maybe that is the payoff.
We'll see.
That payoff would make sense, and if like I said, if there's no women's tag titles, the payoff being that they have to be on the same team because they are the 4 horsemen of the WWE against the 4 horsemen of MMA, which are technically now all of them in that wrestlers.
Yeah, I was going to say, but I see your point. So, that was our Monday Night Raw review. We're going to move on to SmackDown now. We've got more stories on Team Hell No. SmackDown had an open United States challenge for Jeff Hardy. We have a pancake eating contest, an intergender match, and Aiden English versus AJ Styles. That's all coming up next here on Dirt Sheet Mania. And we're back here, Dirt Sheet Mania. SmackDown live this past week, Kieran.
Wait, we have a show called SmackDown Live?
We do.
Oh, cool.
Because it's live.
Is
it's gonna be live on a Friday soon.
Yeah.
Have we talked about that? I think we have. No,
we speculated.
No. I think last week we now know officially, as of October 2019, that SmackDown will not only be on a Friday, but it will be live, which was for a little time there was a speculation that it wouldn't be live, it'd be taped again.
And also as well, in the last week there's been rumours that Fox will want more programming and potentially NXT moving to Fox.
No, don't like it.
No.
Has to stay where it is.
It'd be the best thing on TV. They wouldn't want it to be over to do better than Raw and SmackDown.
One thing that with NXT they have to remember, and I know this is exactly. The one thing they can't escape, it's still developmental. Yeah. You cannot put that on television and say
maybe NXT UK becomes a new developmental. Send everyone over here because of cheaper taxes, brother. I don't know. Probably not, according to what Teresa doesn't like that.
We start with Team Hell No. I still can't believe they're a team again. Really, mate. I mean, Kane is still listed on the Raw Superstars on the network. Yeah. Well, I had a look when I was doing my list of people who aren't doing anything on from our Bray Wyatt segment, and Kane is still listed as a Raw
probably
superstar.
Just fed up of just moving people around from between the two shows, isn't they?
Well, Neville's still listed, and all the cruiserweights are still listed on Raw as well. So they're not updating the app anymore, which is just interesting. But anyway, Team Hell No, do they have a chance at Extreme Rules? Can they win at Extreme Rules?
In terms of the Bludgeon Brothers, I think the Bludgeon Brothers need to retain because I think since they started.
Okay, that's your head, but what does your heart tell you?
Well, yeah, of course I want to win. Of course I want to.
Is there any danger at all that Kane and Bryan lose because of Kane turning on Bryan? Is that even a possibility?
We've said it before, it's a very weird time for Bryan because, you know, they want to obviously make sure he's credible enough for when he does sign a contract, but he hasn't signed a contract. So
to our knowledge. But I think it'll become quite public when he does. Yeah. If he does.
WWE will announce it. They'll say that WWE and Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson have come to terms on a new 3-year deal or something like that. Because Miz has recently signed a 5-year one. I don't know if you saw as well that Daniel Bryan's recently come out and said, do you trust WWE to book a storyline between Daniel Bryan and The Miz and not mess it up?
Has he said that?
He said it out in public, and I'm like, oh, hello.
Who is that with? Gorilla Position?
I think it was Gorilla Position, yeah.
I think I saw it on YouTube.
Yeah, and What Culture picked up and is sort of doing the rounds, which is interesting. But
the interesting thing these days with any employer and employee is if the employer, obviously they're your boss and they have to be happy with your work, but if you're not happy with them and you happen, like Daniel Bryan, to have options, then your employer must try harder.
See, Bryan's in that sort of position now where he can sort of just say, do you know what, you don't need me, I don't need you. Like, WWE need Daniel Bryan.
With thing is though, and we spoke about on our Raw thing at length about the Bucks and about Kenny Omega earning enough money. Okay, another thing we haven't really spoke about is the schedule. At the moment, the Bucks and Kenny Omega being an independent, they decide where they go and when they go. Okay, being a part of the WWE machine, you don't do that anymore. You're told where to be and when to be there. So a possible option for Daniel Bryan, if he went back to the independents, he would decide, you know what, I'm going to have 2 months on the road, and then, unless there's anything like major big New Japan or Ring of Honor pay-per-views, I'm going to be at home with my wife and my little girl. So that would benefit Daniel Bryan.
Without guaranteed money.
Without guaranteed money, but this man is a multi-millionaire that doesn't live anywhere near beyond his means.
No,
Okay,
but
so he is somebody
his
that
wife is not earning.
She is.
Well, she is
They
to
have
a
the clothing range.
Yeah, to a
the-
degree, but in terms of like, I assume she's still under contract to WWE. She's still getting some sort of downside payment,
And
right?
of course, merchandise.
Yeah.
The thing is, as well, you're saying not earning. They're not two people from a council estate in Maidenhead, are they? They're already multi-millionaires who live, like I've said, nowhere near beyond their means. So if they didn't want to work for 3 months, they don't have
Oh, they
to.
could, yeah.
Brian could still do the odd appearance and be paid very handsomely for said appearance.
Well, I think so. What we're saying is that Brian's in a position of power. He is in a position of power.
Comfortable, not in
It's
an
like-
arrogant.
not as much as Punk was back in the day, because Punk was in the biggest storyline of the company.
Best with John Cena and Vince McMahon.
Yeah. So, but Brian can sort of. He may have already signed the contract, like you said. He may have already done.
We don't know,
but,
do we?
You know, I think he will sign. I think he's waiting to see how he is with obviously his concussions and making sure he's passing it, and WWE want to be happy with that.
Every match he's getting assessed.
Exactly. So I don't want to see him go face Kane in a feud.
I don't, because I don't see any.
It would make sense if they're still treading water until that contract gets signed.
I was confused of why, coming off WrestleMania, off an actual very good storyline with Shane and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, I was confused of why the big Cass rivalry went on 3 pay-per-views? 2 pay-per-views? Because I thought, this is a stopgap and then they're going to push him. But then they didn't. But then, like you say, it's treading water.
But we've got SummerSlam coming up.
What's he going to do?
What's he going to have? If Team Hell No win the tag titles, are they going to have a tag title match? Are they going to not? Are they going to lose at Extreme Rules? And then he's going to be Daniel Bryan versus Kane.
Well,
is it going to be Bryan versus Shinsuke for the US title potentially?
Yeah.
Is it going to be Bryan versus Jeff? Is it going to be Bryan versus AJ? Is it going to be? There's so many potential things. And SummerSlam being in August and being 2 weeks before the contract ends.
Yeah.
Maybe Brian's sitting there thinking, well, give me something for SummerSlam. If you give me that, I'll sign the contract.
That's not the WWE way, though. They'll want we'll give you this.
But they'll want to get a Bryan versus AJ match. They want to get a Bryan because at some point they need to get this match. He's got 2 months left on his contract.
Either sign or give me something decent.
They're going to get a match. They're going to want to get Bryan versus
the only other
something.
thing that I can think of is why it's not happening right now is that Bryan wants to resign, but WWE have said we don't know yet because we still want more tests. Constant.
But why not
tests.
have that as a rolling contract?
Month to month.
Yeah,
but then you might as well just go on the independents if it's
not month to month, but year to year.
One year deal,
or just say, look, it's
6 months.
It's a 3-year deal, but WWE have a chance to break that contract every year.
Well, Brian does.
Or
not WWE. Brian has to have that power.
No, they won't give Brian that power.
No.
I
think we could talk all day about contracts.
But they could do that in terms of that they have a medical break clause that if there is some sort of medical problem, they don't have.
Both parties can sit down and renegotiate.
Obviously, Brian was injured because he was still under contract to WWE and he had the concussion. He still had to work because he was still under contract. That's why he was general manager.
Exactly what's happening with Paige now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but as soon as Paige's contract finishes,
she probably leaves.
She's gonna fuck off.
I don't think she'll stay. No. I think she'll leave. Get some more tests and probably wrestle.
Yeah, probably.
Personally, in England or maybe Japan. On to SmackDown. The Usos were not very happy with the fact that Bryan and Kane are getting just a title shot just by teaming up again.
And rightly so.
I wouldn't be happy.
This made sense to me. I was like, well, it makes a lot of sense. And the thing is, the Usos done it in their own way. But it wasn't that they were complaining, but they weren't complaining as if like, oh, you don't get this and you get that, which seems to be very much WWE writing.
Yeah.
They've done it in a way as like to say, well, I'm glad to see you back, and Daniel Bryan, you're our homie and everything like that.
You're Usman, you know, they're quite tight.
But they've done it in their own way, and I liked it, and it made sense because they hugged each other 4 times, so they get 4 tag team opportunities, tag team title opportunities.
So later on, later on in the night, we did see the Usos versus Team Hell No. With if the Usos won, they get added to Extreme Rules.
I like that game.
Replacing is not. I don't think replacing a team is like. Well, what's the point? Like, leave them, but add.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in a very good match, Team Hell No won.
Yeah.
The double splash towards the end when Kane actually caught them both by their throats. I originally thought, someone's botched something up here because that's not. He's got them by the throat. So then he threw one of them into the knee and hit the other one with the choke slam. So trying to mesh Bryan and Kane's moves into what makes sense is quite difficult, but they made that work quite nicely. I thought some nice chemistry there from Kane and Bryan, reliving back from 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean the opening package was good. Like they'd done showing everything that happened 5 years ago, and I quite like that.
The one thing I said to you earlier was I find it very weird how someone like Bryan, who has gone through so much since WrestleMania 30, everything from winning the world title, from having to retire, to being reinstated, to winning the Intercontinental title, to having to give that up and everything. Then his return, he's been extremely patient, and since he's come back, we've obviously seen a different style of his wrestling, his attitude. But being back with Kane, it's like it's the one person that can do the tiniest little thing, and he's just wound up. And I guess part of me is like, okay, it's a bit odd because it actually doesn't fit his current character, but it just proves that like any relationship, even with my girlfriend or with exes or whatever, there's always something that both of us have that would wind us up about somebody else.
Yeah, it's like you usually just wind me up by looking at me. So
hello, darling.
Even
with friends, exactly. So even with me and you, like we spend a lot of time together and we talk probably every day. But there's probably things that you don't like that I do, or there's probably things that I like that you do.
You support Arsenal.
And you sleep too much.
Yeah.
I want to do this at 11 o'clock, and you're like, 11:30. So...
What's wrong with that?
It's half an hour. I had to waste half an hour of my life because I had to wait for you to get up.
You went to go see your mother, didn't you?
I didn't. She's at work.
Wow, you spent time in your mother's house, which is always nice.
I was there Sunday. It was very good. No, barbecue. So, do you know what I mean? So, the Bryan and Kane have this very, very almost like a marriage type of relationship. So, keep an eye on that over the next few weeks. I expect to see some funny segments and flashbacks to a few years ago.
Well, since Shelby's been on Raw, sending to SmackDown as well.
Shelby on Raw. The fact that this is happening now on SmackDown and they're back together, and that Sasha and Bayley are going through that. Like I say, sometimes WWE get the timings wrong because of one reason or another. But this, maybe by an accident, has actually turned out very, very well. And it's so nice to see. Open challenge, Jeff Hardy. Interesting because it is announced for Extreme Rules that Nakamura will face Jeff Hardy.
Yes.
Is that official?
I think it's official now. Yeah.
But it's weird because Jeff Hardy's doing an open challenge on SmackDown.
Yes, but it's Independence Day today, Craig, and yesterday was July 3rd.
They were doing July 3rd challenges, and it's
very weird that Jeff Hardy's face paint, while it was red, white, and blue, it almost did look a bit like a Union Jack.
I was like,
and they said it on commentary as well. I think didn't Corey say it? I think
Byron maybe, yeah. But I second I saw his face, I was like, that's cool. That's a Union Jack. Wait a minute, and I was like, this is confusing. Is he trying? Maybe he stole El Ligero's mask and thought like that, nicking that,
Just forgot to grow the horns.
Forgot the horns and a little bit at the back. It's got the sort of piece of the back of the head. But very cool. I'm really liking this tweaked, in between Broken, in between Brother Nero, Willow, Jeff Hardy. It's a kind of a mixture of his three alter egos right now, and I'm really liking this incarnation. He faced The Miz on SmackDown. These two have faced each other quite a lot recently.
Faced each other in a Money in the Bank qualifier. They said on commentary. I forgot about that one.
And that's the match that Jeff lost. And then he got that rematch against Bryan to face Joe, which they both lost. Yeah. So yes, they have been intertwined with each other quite a bit recently. This time Jeff Hardy came out on top. Didn't expect Miz to win.
No.
But just simply because Jeff and Nakamura seem to be in the early stages of...
Yeah, open challenges are weird because
especially when there's already an announced match.
Yeah. Open challenges when there's numerous open challenges, like when John Cena had his open challenge. This is the thing, they always seem to want to copy the John Cena US open challenge. But it needs to be a lot before you can feasibly think there's going to be a loss. There's not many open challenges that see a new champion crowned the first time it happens.
Dolph Ziggler, that was it. I mean, there's some others. Now, I think Carlito beating Cena
possibly
back in the day in his debut. But you're right. No, you're right. if you build it up over years and years, Kurt Angle is medal invitation, and loads of people went through that. Chris Masters had the Master Lock challenge.
Yeah.
Loads of people went through that until I think Bobby Lashley broke that.
Yeah,
Actually.
Bobby Lashley
He was the
broke
first person, and Eugene beat the clock for the medals. So people do break them, and I think the point of an open challenge is eventually somebody does beat it.
Yeah.
Because then you build up. Even though there's no storyline in regards to the rivalry, there's a storyline in regards to how long someone has defended that title in open challenges. So, you know, we shall see how long Jeff Hardy stays in United States champion. I think Nakamura winning the United States title now, after having a long rivalry with AJ Styles and not winning, I think he needs to win. More, like, quite badly, if you ask me. Like, very badly.
You know, Jeff Shinsuke is going to be a good little match. Let them feud a little bit. Then potentially Shinsuke versus Bryan, Shinsuke versus Samoa Joe. There's loads.
SmackDown is loaded.
Yeah, it's loaded with talent. So.
Talking of loaded talent, the New Day come out with a pancake eating contest. It's all three of them, all against each other. We got that triple threat match we wanted.
Yeah.
Not in the way we wanted, but we got it. Whoever can eat the most pancakes in 5 minutes will be your champion. And Byron Saxton's wearing a wonderful hat, by the way. Lovely touch. And 1 second passes before lights out, sanity.
That it's a shame that the New Day aren't heels, because if they actually went through with a 5-minute pancake eating match, it would be
I'd be booing the crap out of that by the end.
Yeah, but about 30
5
seconds.
whole minutes. That's a long time.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously I thought something would happen because there's no way they're going to do that for 5 minutes. Maybe if it was 30 seconds, yeah.
I could have seen them doing like a minute or two,
yeah.
and then something happening. But yeah, 5 minutes was a very long time. But yeah, they only did a second, then Sanity caused mayhem, put them through tables. I can see this being an Extreme Rules match. Sanity versus New Day, 6-man tag. I say there's so many. You said this the other week. So many 6-man tag, 3-person teams now. Adding to the speculation and rumors of the Elite and Cody Rhodes coming back, that you could absolutely do a trios tournament. Don't have to do a trio. Don't have to be a 6-man tag.
I don't want a 6-man tag belt, but
no,
a trio,
or 3-man tag belt rather.
Yeah,
but you could have a trios tournament.
A trios tournament would be pretty sweet.
Branding from NXT, WWE, Raw and Smackdown, and then you could even have a few independent teams if they're 3-piece. So I think that's something we will see at Extreme Rules. Asuka versus Ellsworth. So this is a intergender match. Ellsworth last faced Becky Lynch in an intergender match. This one finished a little less decisively. It was a double count out, but it looked like a plan all along from Ellsworth and Carmella, because Carmella then ended up jumping Asuka from behind. Does Asuka win the belt off of her Extreme Rules, or does Carmella continue to reign as SmackDown Women's Champion? Because at the moment, this is what we're building to.
Yeah, the Carmella reign's been quite good, I'd say.
It's better than I thought.
Better than I thought it would be, yeah, definitely.
And I don't know
whether it would be quite a short and sweet one, but...
Yeah, like, a couple of weeks and done. Like, I don't know if that's because Ellsworth being re-added has given her that little bit of... Actually, now she's got some backup. She's quite credible.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Can Asuka afford to lose again?
How crazy is it that since April... She loses to Charlotte. She's lost to Carmella already. She cannot afford to be pinned again. And it's crazy to think that, because of course, I mean, Becky didn't win for ages. Sasha's lost a lot. Bayley's lost a lot. Charlotte's lost a lot. And now Asuka is in that realm of almost, instead of bringing people up to her level, she's bringing them, not her personally, sorry, but the booking is bringing her down to their level.
Yeah.
Asuka to me should still be this slightly difficult to beat person.
So the only other person you can think of in terms of streaks is obviously Goldberg, in terms of the long streak,
the longevity.
And Asuka's, you're always going to lose your aura when you lose your first match.
I mean, you were how did you feel around Goldberg, or how did you feel to Goldberg as a fan when Goldberg first got beat, and especially in the way he did by Kevin Nash?
Yeah.
How did that make you feel as a fan?
So, but this all led up to the finger poke of doom. So they sort of dropped the ball on that. But he was pissed, obviously. But that's because.
No, but as a fan, okay, watching Asuka now, as I say, I don't feel like she's as high up as she is, and I don't think they brought the talent up to her. I think she's been brought down. But when people then started beating Goldberg, how did you feel?
I think a lot of people, but Goldberg never lost a lot of matches after. Like that's the thing. Goldberg probably, I don't know, and someone could probably correct me or whatever, but Goldberg probably lost 10 matches in his WCW career. Probably not even that, right? I know he lost to Bret Hart once in a world title tournament, and he obviously lost his final match in WCW. He didn't lose a lot. Asuka's lost probably more matches now than what Goldberg lost.
Just twice.
So it's close. So Asuka can't afford...
In quick succession as well.
And I know she's going for the title, and it's not a case that if you're undefeated, you should win the title at your first opportunity. I get that. Like, a screwy finish can help, yes, right? Carmella winning with a screwy finish is fine. Can they do it again? Yeah, potentially.
She's been beaten clean once and screwy once. For me now, you need to pick that up again. You need to get a victory for Asuka. The one thing we do know now is that James Ellsworth will face Asuka again in a rematch, but this time it will be a lumberjack match. Now, for me, I think we spoke about this earlier as well. Lumberjack, lumberjill. We know what a lumberjack is, and I think what WWE are doing a lot of
down trees.
What WWE are doing a lot at the moment is, even though they have an Iron Man, I mean, even when the ladies have had Iron Man matches, we want it called Iron Woman, but it's almost like
it should be a lumber person match.
Well, let's steady on.
Let's be gender neutral, lumber person.
Do you know what? Whatever it is, it's a lumber whatever. Like whether it's man, woman.
We're not English men. We're English persons.
Oh, for crying out loud! we are men, Kieran. Well, I am. I speak for myself. So next week, I assume it will be winking at you. I assume it will be a lumberjill match because men can't throw Asuka back in, but women can throw James Ellsworth back in. So let's see how that goes.
Can you imagine just a few sort of lower talent on SmackDown getting ready to throw Asuka in and just going, no, you're all right, love, just doing
We'd put her over quite a lot.
Yeah, but
depends who's willing to take that step down.
So obviously the women will be there and they'll be ganging up on Ellsworth like he did before he got released.
Still the winner of the first ever women's Money in the Bank match, James Ellsworth. He's a glorified, in storyline terms, he's a glorified female.
Yeah.
But it's a good dynamic. Yeah. So we'll see.
They're dragging this out to... Not say dragging. I was going to say dragging out's always, it sounds negative, but it's just another segment for next week.
Yeah, no, of course. It's developing the story, letting it breathe. Other woman match on SmackDown was Becky Lynch wrestling Peyton Royce. Now, normally I wouldn't really talk about this match because nothing really happened. It wasn't a storyline developing story. Becky won, so she develops her winning streak, really, if anything. But for me, I was more bothered that Peyton Royce hasn't got an entrance, or the Iconic Duo haven't got an entrance. Now, for me, I know you said, SmackDown, time constraints, and you know what? Completely get that. And yeah, sometimes you do have to cut entrances because that's 90 seconds or 2 minutes of a show that you need to develop storylines. Or for a match, and I'd rather see the match than the entrance. But in this dynamic with the Iconic Duo, I just think they desperately need some momentum. Because they were so big on NXT.
Yeah, so I don't think there's anything to worry about yet. And the thing is as well...
I like that word there, yet.
Yeah, because it could. You could be Bobby Roode. You could be No Way Jose. You could be any... Samoa Joe. What's Samoa Joe though?
Lost a lot.
Right?
Lost lots, actually.
You could be Ty Dillinger. You could be... Yeah. There's loads. There's loads out there. So I wouldn't worry about it yet. They're on TV.
Right, I know what I'm saying, and I'm glad you said that bit as well because
SmackDown's always had time constraints. They always show people not having entrances, you know. And the thing is, again, this is the type of thing that if WWE showed things during the adverts like they did on the app all those years ago, they technically would have an entrance. The entrance would be on the app,
right?
On the app, okay. Yeah. But I don't think there's anything to worry about yet. The Iconics were called up, and I do, and I probably would have said this at the time. They deserve to call up. Yep. I agree with that because they weren't
on NXT, were they? They weren't on it.
No, but they weren't at that NXT title level. But they were there to pad out that women's roster. They need to make the women's rosters bigger. There's 10 women on each show, roughly. You know, so that's 20 women.
Yeah,
right. And they're there because you can't have 6 women and 6 women like it was before all these NXT call-ups.
At the first draft, you had literally 6 on one show, 6 on the other show, and they literally it was like a deck of cards. It was like, right, you this week, this week.
Now, if there is going to be an NXT title, women's tag titles, they need to pad it out. So you'll probably see in a couple of months, maybe come Survivor Series again, a few more call-ups getting done. So then you've got 13 on each roster.
Shayna Baszler and Ronda.
Yeah, but you just want to pad it out and things like that. So obviously because of the women's Royal Rumble that will be coming around in January as well. They want to add more people because this year it'll be the first proper Royal Rumble. Because the last Royal Rumble, it was their first. It was
a celebration.
It was a celebration of all women, past talent and everything like that. This time it's going to be all about the present talent, the NXT talent.
I think you might find a few. I reckon there's some of the Glola wrestlers in.
Potentially.
Like
And
Zoya the Destroyer.
You also got the Mae Young Classic coming back as well.
Okay, we won't see any of them in that.
No. But you've got the Mae Young Classic in terms of potential women that can get called up, etc. and things like that.
And of course, with the NXT UK, they've announced the women's title, so that's gonna have more women through. We've already seen 4 or 5 of them.
So they're good enough. Are they good enough to? Sorry, the Iconics, are they good enough to win the SmackDown tag title? I think as a pair they are. I think
SmackDown tag title.
That's
if there was a tag division.
No, SmackDown women's title.
Oh, SmackDown. As a pair, one of them.
One of them can win.
Yeah.
I think, but
not on their own.
On their own, I can see Peyton Royce is the better one of the two. But again, you build storylines. There's not a lot of time on SmackDown. There's not a lot of time on Raw. As you can see on Raw, they're not building up talents every week.
No.
So
it's the same people.
But they in the future they might go, well, do you know what? It's Peyton Royce's turn. Asuka's had the title for 9 months. He needs a fresh opponent. Let's build up Peyton Royce.
Well, what there needs to be, you can't just go, let's build her up now. For me, if you're going to book a talent, if you're going to have someone there, someone needs to be ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay, right now that person's Becky Lynch because Becky's winning. If something happened and they go, we need to switch the gears a bit. We need to flip this dime. Right, Becky, you're zoning heel, and you're winning, so you've got credibility. So you beat all the baby faces. Now we're going to swip you over, and now you're going to wrestle all the faces because you beat all the heels. Now you're going to be a heel, fresh opponents, fresh dynamics. Different scenario with her and Charlotte, different way of looking at it. Talking of a different dynamic in the way of looking at it, AJ Styles actually wrestled this week. We haven't seen him. I think he was niggling injuries going into Money in the Bank, and then he was doing media last week in Australia with a number of other SmackDown talent. Carmella being one of those people, and Asuka actually. So we actually did get to see him wrestle this week against Aiden English. Now Rusev, he was very smart, so entertaining for me. Rusev. Distracting AJ Styles at every opportunity given, and even after AJ made English tap out, he still managed to slap on the accolade, and I don't think he'll win at Extreme Rules, but I don't know when someone has a less credible opponent, Brock Lesnar versus Bob Holly for the WWE title. Bob Holly was never going to win that match. It's not that sort of levels of down the card, but none of me can see Rusev winning the WWE title.
I'm going to give you 2 words.
Okay, Rusev Day.
Jinder Mahal.
Okay.
Won the title around this time last year.
What beat Randy Orton? But we knew there was a Saudi...
Could a surprise happen? Could Rusev pull off the biggest surprise of all time?
We knew on Rusev Day. We knew that they were going to India. We knew that they were looking for a star, and we even saw that a SmackDown taping at the O2 where Jinder pinned Randy in a tag match. So we knew that was a high possibility because he'd beat him twice on TV, once in singles, once in tag, and then once again at the pay-per-view. So eventually it was like 3 or 4 times. So we knew that Jinder was on a roll. Rusev to win the WWE title, would it be a one and done SummerSlam?
Probably. But I don't think they'll throw the WWE title just like that to give it a one and done.
Just like a rematch SummerSlam.
Yeah, but a 1 month reign. I don't think. No, I think this.
What that would do, that would make AJ have another one.
Yeah.
So that would make AJ look more. Oh, he's a 4-time champ instead of a 3-time champ, or whatever it is.
So Rusev obviously has had a lot of issues with WWE and things like that. And creative.
Did you hear what the ride along things did?
No.
So apparently he was supposed to wrestle, the Undertaker in that casket match, and then when Vince told him he was doing it, Rusev laughed in Vince McMahon's face.
Right. Okay.
And then Vince said, and then apparently on Rusev's Twitter, this is what Rusev said on Ride Along, by the way. So this isn't me going, oh, guess what I found out. Rusev then said, he said, bury me softly, good brother, on Twitter about the Undertaker. So Vince saw this and went, no, I'm not having this bastard wrestle the Undertaker. Jericho, you're wrestling Mark now. And then after Rusev went to him and said, look, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Like, come on, sorry. Put him back in the match.
Sweet.
So...
Yeah, Rusev is obviously. There's been a lot of rumours of him wanting out and things.
After
like
his
that.
release around WrestleMania time.
So I think this is just sort of placating. Is that the word? Placating. Yeah.
Making your talent happy.
Yeah. Just here you go. Here's a WWE title match. You're not going to win, but you're all going to be in a WWE title match,
which not many people can say.
No.
I was thinking about this the other day. Two wrestlers that never won a world title. Never. That for me. This is from sort of before our generation. One of them just before. One of them was Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
Never won a world title. Then one Scott Hall.
Yeah.
Neither of them never won a world title.
Man. The $1 Million Man.
$1 Million Man. He never won a world title. So you can still have a very, very, very legendary, credible career and not win a recognised world title. Yeah. You really, really can. Will Rusev be one of them? Quite possibly. If we in 25 years when we look back on Rusev and we're sitting here going, Rusev Day was great. I missed Rusev Day. Then he's done it. You know, Lana will look the same probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
She'll probably look great when she's in her
probably
50s.
be speaking in an Australian accent next or something.
It's gone the other way.
Yeah. Just a little tidbit of side news. Ruby Riot's been diagnosed with a something to do with her MCL. I wouldn't say a sprained MCL, but that doesn't sound painful.
I didn't know because I'll say this much. Okay, she wasn't on SmackDown. On Raw. Sorry,
yeah,
big one.
Raw
I didn't
now.
know why she was on Raw. Did they say?
Yeah, she got injured in a live event, and apparently she's done something really bad to her knee or MCL.
Oh, God.
She could be out for a long period of time, I think.
Wow. Okay.
So, which is a shame for her because they just done a piece on .com about indie career.
Which I like, by the way.
Yeah, which they do. You've done it with Luke Carr, but
did it with Seth Rollins. Yeah.
So so that's an unfortunate thing for her.
The fact that the team's called the Riot Squad and then Ruby Riot won't be around is.
But then Absolution are called Absolution, but they're not called Absolution anymore. So maybe just to combine them together.
These two now will be left in the same scenario that Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan will be in because
you mean your way around? Sonya Deville. Yeah.
This is also the problem that they don't really have enough of an identity.
No, you just suck.
And I suck. But this is the problem, though. This is what I mean. Like, you can thrust all of these women into the main roster, and the second page.
Please don't talk about thrusting and women in the same sentence.
This has been Dirty Main episode 21. You can go to hell, Kieran. Thank you very much for joining me this week.
Thanks, Greg.
You're very welcome, mate, guys.
You know, let's get ready for Saturday. Got to get ready for Saturday, right? Saturday is a big
Saturday, 3 p.m. Do you know what I do like? It's in England, 3 p.m. Saturday kickoff. You can't get any more English.
Yes, I'm currently working.
You are currently working.
Today's day shift of working will be devoted to me trying to get Saturday off.
I mean, lie, cheat, and steal, mate.
Yeah,
that's what I would advise. Yeah. Don't actually steal because don't steal, but lie and cheat. This has been Dirt Shit Mania episode 21. Go and watch England on Saturday. 3 p.m. kickoff on the BBC, I think, this time.
It is on BBC, yeah.
Yes.
We never win on ITV.
We did last night. Just about. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I am the Chief of Wrestling, Craig Anderson. This has been the Director of Creativity, Kieran Smith. This has been DSM21. Check us out on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. We're going to leave you with the songs of Badil and Skinner. It's coming home! Come on, England! Dilly dilly!
Come on, England!